Hi everybody and welcome to this webinar about JD Edwards on Oracle Cloud. My name is Danny Loy and I'm responsible for guiding customers during this process towards Oracle Cloud. And this is my colleague Mickey, who is responsible for the technical part and setting up cloud environments in the Oracle Cloud. So why this webinar about JD Edwards on Oracle Cloud?
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, first of all, Crystal Resina has been in business for 15 years regarding JD Edwards. So now we're moving towards the Oracle Cloud. And in this webinar, you will see why Oracle Cloud can be the next thing for you. Why go to SaaS if you can land your platform on IaaS or PaaS. And during this webinar, we will highlight several topics such as the Oracle Cloud performance, security, your data, and at the end, there will be a Q&A session for you to answer your questions.
So just a quick update on the latest cloud numbers, which are published by Gartner. As you can see, the fastest growing segment is IaaS, and which is forecasted to grow at least 27.6% in 2019. By 2022, Gartner expected 90% of the companies will be running some parts of their IT environment on IaaS or PaaS. The IaaS market will double in size between 2018 and 2022, and the total market size will be $278 billion by the end of 2022. So Mickey, anything to add to this?
Well, no, nothing to add. I think the numbers speak for themselves. The cloud is something where we all will be heading to, so let's dive into the presentation.
Okay, next slide.
So first, we would like to dive in security and how it's arranged in the Oracle Cloud. Because we conducted a survey in 2018 and the majority of the respondents, they said it was a real major concern. And for me, personally, I would like to know how my security is managed when I will be moving to another data center. So, moving on to the next slide, we will talk about Oracle Cloud and security.
Yeah, about this I want to highlight a few things, how security measures has been taken. So let's zoom into this slide. So first I would like to address Oracle Generation 2 Cloud. Now, what is it actually doing? What is it saying? Gen 2 puts customer code, data and resources on a bare metal computer, while Cloud Control Code lives on a separate computer with a different architecture. So basically with this approach, Oracle cannot even see customers' data. So security is pretty good arranged in this case. So what about Oracle's SLAs for Oracle Cloud? Now, as you can see, Oracle offers a 99.97% average SLA on all their cloud service and cloud infra, in order to ensure that all your data is safe and everything is uptime. Apart from that, I want to mention is that all data which is in your block storage, in your archives, is encrypted. So these are the most important measurements Oracle has been taken in terms of security in the public cloud. So let's dive into the next slide. What we're going to see over here. So now we discuss how security measurements has been taken in the Oracle Public Cloud. Another option which I would like to discuss is Oracle Cloud at Customer. This can be interesting for customers who can't migrate their data or applications towards the public cloud. In this case, Oracle provides the public cloud behind your own firewall, while Oracle delivers and manages the services on how you want to operate. So basically, use Oracle Cloud Services for everything like data management, analytics, and database as a service, and so on. So now I would like to bring you to the next slide, and that is about availability domains, which my colleague Mickey will further address.
So, let's talk about the availability domains. Let's zoom in to the world map. Availability domains are a key differentiator versus the competition. IaaS and PaaS can be offered from different availability domains and regions. A region is in this case a geographical zone, and inside every region you have several availability domains. Let's take for example Germany, which has OCI, which means that bare metal machines are spread over 3 data centers, thus 3 availability domains, which are connected with each other. And between those data centers there is a maximum latency of only just 3 milliseconds. All data between these data centers can be easily replicated, which is of course very good if you are looking for a high availability solution. And if the customer prefers to run their workload over different regions and needs access to all data, then of course that is no problem. All regions are connected and the latency between regions is always a maximum of 10 milliseconds, no matter if you're in Amsterdam, UK or America. That's because of this solid backbone network. So it is a global platform and you will never have to worry about your network ever again. So if we're moving to the next slide, we're going to talk about the CPU, aka the compute resources. So Oracle speaks of OCPUs, whilst other vendors are talking about vCPUs. And OCPUs, it's in the name, the Oracle CPU. But what's the main difference here? Well, one Oracle CPU means that Oracle, one CPU, that's just for you. So you gain one physical CPU. Whilst other vendors, as you can see over here, will share threads of one CPU, which has an impact to the total performance it can provide. So one OCPU is two threads and no sharing of compute resources, whereas one vCPU is one thread and gets shared by every VM. So having this in mind, let's check the performance analysis done by, for example, Accenture. Next slide.
Now, if we take a look at this analysis done by Accenture, we see that Oracle is able to do much more transactions per second than its main competitor. So why is this? Now, Oracle is making use of local NVMe SSD storage, and through this they are able to make much more transactions per second. Also, they can offer this at a lower price in comparison to their main competitor. So the conclusion is simple: you get a better performance for a better price. But are you here thinking, security check, price performance check? But what happens with the investment which you have already currently done in your existing licenses? Don't worry, Oracle introduced like bring your own license concept, so you can bring your own licenses towards the Oracle Public Cloud and you keep the functionality of whatsoever. So basically you move to another environment and you keep your license in place and you can keep use your functionality that you're used to. Now, a lot of people we know, or a lot of customers we know, they run their JD Edwards environment on SQL Server or operating systems from Windows or Linux. Now, don't worry, everything can be transferred towards the Oracle Cloud and you can still make use of this functionality. We want to shortly address this because this is a question we get a lot, so that's why we also apply this in our presentation. So, this having in mind, this has been discussed. Let's check at the VCN, and that's what you're gonna explain.
Yeah, thank you. So the VCN is a very technical point of view. It's network related, of course. The VCN stands for the Virtual Cloud Network. So basically, into the Oracle Cloud, you can have this VCN and you can set it up to your needs. So you can set up your own IP addresses, own routing tables, subnets, firewalls. Everything what you prefer. A question we get a lot is, can we use overlapping IP addresses? Yes, you can, of course, with proper guidance and instruction from network-related people. However, we do not recommend the use of overlapping IP addresses, but of course, this is all up to you. So you can really isolate your environment by using this VCN, and you can choose to have it either in the private cloud or in the public with a public IP address. So yeah, you can really configure it to your needs. So enough of the chit chat. Let's go to the actual demo. So welcome to the live demo. Currently we're in the Quistor Oracle Cloud environment, and I will be showing you how easy it is to create a VM instance. So this is the dashboard you will be opening when you're accessing the Oracle Cloud URL webpage. So from here, we can create various amount of servers and we will do a lot of stuff. And as you can see here, today we're going to create a VM instance. And it's already saying that it will take us around 2 to 6 minutes. If I click here, I will be immediately brought to the create a VM instance page. But I will show you another method. So for the compute instances, this is our Quistor Oracle Cloud Infrastructure environment. So these are, for example, all the servers we have created for our own demo purposes. And from here, we can just click the Create Instance button. So these are all the instances in the Quistor OCI compartment. And what is a compartment? Well, a compartment is nothing more than a group for administration purposes, so that it makes it easy to access and keep the overview clean. So we will create an instance. So from here we can name it, and this is nothing more than just an administrative name in the Oracle Cloud. So this is not the actual host name. So for now, we will just call it Quistor Webinar. Availability domain. So where do you want to have your machine to be up and running? So for now, we will just click availability domain 1. Operating system. It's Oracle Linux by default. So we will change it to, in this case, we will change it to Windows, but we have a lot of operating systems we can choose. So these are the standard ones: Ubuntu, CentOS, Linux, Windows. Then we also have some Oracle images for dedicated machines, eBusiness Suite, partner images, which are Fortinet, Redmines, customs, which you can upload by yourself, boot volumes, which you can also create by yourself, and these are some image OCIDs. So for now, we will go to the platform images and we will create a Windows Server 2012 R2 standard. So the latest build of the selected image is used. So we will agree for the images and proceed. So now we have the Windows 2012. So we will have two instance types. We do a virtual machine. So a virtual machine is an independent computing environment that runs on top of physical bare metal hardware. Or do we want to be, or do we want it to be a bare metal machine? And the bare metal machine compute instance gives you dedicated physical server access for highest performance and strong isolation. But for now, we will just choose a virtual machine. Instance shape. So here you will determine how many OCPUs and memory we're going to assign to the machine. So by default, it is 2.1, which is one CPU, OCPU of course, and 15 gigs of memory. If you want to change the shape, we click the change shape button, which will bring up all the available shapes for this Windows machine. So we can really choose whatever we want. Do we want to have low performance or high performance? It really depends on what application you will be running. And of course, the more CPUs and the more memory you will choose will also affect the usage of your bucket of hours and resources. So we can, for example, overpower it by choosing dense O224, which has 24 OCPUs and 320 gigs of memory. But for now, we will just stick to the VM standard. One CPU, 15 gigs of ROM. Select shape. Then we can configure a boot volume. So by default, the Windows server is dedicated to have 256 gigabytes in the C drive. So if you want to customize it, we can either, for example, choose 300. And as you saw in the warning, please select a value between 256 and 32,768. So for now, we'll just 300. We can choose to enable transit encryption, or we can choose a key from the key management to encrypt this volume, but for now we will not do this. Login credentials. So upon creating this instance, both a username and an initial password will be generated for you. They will be available on the details screen for the newly launched instance, and you must create a new password upon logging into the instance for the first time. So this is the networking part, which is all being set up front. So we have created a virtual cloud network called Quistor Demo inside the Quistor OCI compartment. And into this, we have created our subnets. For now, we will have a public subnet, which is the VLAN tier 1. Then we have some advanced options. For management, we can really choose in which compartment we want to have this, but for now we will stick to the root compartment, which is Quistor OCI. And as you can see, we've also created more compartments for this example for our cloud monitoring, for a PaaS offering, or for a proof of concept. But for now, we will choose the root compartment. A fault domain. A fault domain is basically a physical rack inside your availability domain. So we have chosen availability domain 1, and now we can choose like, okay, in which physical rack do I want to have this? We can choose domain 1. User data. You can choose to specify a startup script that will run when your instance boots up or restarts, but we are not going to do this right now. We will enable monitoring, and tagging is a metadata system that allows you to organize and track resources within your tenancy. Tags are composed of keys and values which can be attached to resources. For now, we will not use tagging. Then when we switch to the networking options, we can specify a private and a public IP address, as well as the host name. So we can untick this so that it will not have a public IP address, but for now, we will keep this enabled. So we have a private IP address which can only be accessed inside your network, and then we also have a public IP address which can be accessed from anywhere on the world as long as you have internet connection, of course. So we can specify the IP address, but I will leave it empty so it will generate something automatically. And we can choose the host name, and I will choose Quistor Web. The image, this is an image build if you want to go to a previous Windows release, but for now we will just choose the latest. So then we can click the create button. So now we will have a page in front of us saying that the instance is being provisioned. So all the details are shown here. So it's present in the first availability domain, first fault domain. So in this case, it will be in Frankfurt. The shape, as you can see, the details were filled in. So the cloud network is Quistor demo. This is the actual IP address for the private use, and this is the IP address for public use. So if we can open a command prompt, and we will from here ping to the public IP address. So now I'm just on my local laptop, not connected to any dedicated network, and we can ping the address from here. And then eventually we can see after a while that it will respond. So this is the 130.61.34.78. So now it's still creating the machine. So I will leave this to the side. So from here we have all the details. We can see when it's launched. You can see the compartment, of course, and the launch mode. Here are some additional reboots in case that is needed, but we have not specified anything. This is the tags page. We have no associated tags. And then here we can also attach block volume. So this is just additional storage if we want to create, for example, a D drive on the system. So if I'm going back to the compute instances, I will see that my machine is being loaded. So now it's in provisioning state. The machine is still being created. I will move this to the side right now. I will put it back when we have a reply. So let me show you some networking. So here are some virtual while this machine will be created. So this is our Quistor virtual cloud network, which of course has been created up front again. So from here we have some subnets. So we have created a subnet for every availability domain. So in this case, we have a VLAN for availability domain 1, and as well as 2 and 3. And inside these VLANs, there is a routing table and a security list. So all these details are on the left side over here. So let's go through them really quick. So we have some routing tables, the default one can be shown. Oh, by the way, so we can see the machine is now almost ready. And it already responds to the public IP address. So I will kill this command. And then we have the gateway, dynamic routing gateway. And of course, the security list is really important, as here you will specify what can be allowed. So we have some ingress and egress rules inside, inbound and outbound. So here we have, for example, all rules. So this is basically your firewall setup within the Oracle Cloud. So if we go back to the compute instance, the machine is already running. So it really took us like 2 or 3 minutes. And now, as you can see, the instance is running. So now we can access the machine. This is the username, Oracle Public Cloud, and this is the initial password. So I will copy this for now, open the notepad, put it to the side for myself, and then let's connect to the machine. So it's 130.61.34.78. So we can connect. Yes, we will. So here we go. This is really the machine already. The Windows machine, Windows 2000 Server 2012 R2. This is the OPC. I will fill in the password right now. Okay, here we are. Password is incorrect. Come on. Fortunately, we are not able to copy and paste it. So let me check it. Looks fine. Next. So first time we will have to change the password. So a new password, I will just choose Wistore Webinar 1. Was it okay? Yes. So Wistore Webinar 1. So thank you very much for changing, and now the machine is up and running. Performance wise, as you can see, it's really quick. You can choose the network, and now the machine is just ready. So now we can do whatever we want. And also inside your private network as well, it will be available. So now I will shut it down, or at least sign out. And that's basically how easy it is to create a virtual machine in the Oracle Cloud.
Okay, thank you, Mickey, for showing this short demo. Thank you, Mickey, for showing this short demo about how to create an instance in the Oracle Cloud. Now we get to the interesting part, and that's the pricing. So what we did, we created a simple architectural overview of a JD Edwards environment, and let's zoom into this. So what can you see in this environment? It's a standard JD Edwards 9.2 environment, which includes the latest tools and ESUs. Also OVR, OneView reporting is here, we created in here, BI Publisher, AIS, Orchestrator, etc. So for this environment, if you want to run that on Oracle infrastructure, let's take a look at that. I think we have to create Oracle works with universal credits, which is nothing less like they create a bucket of money, and which is based on what you're going to consume. So we try to arrange it as efficient as possible and as much customized in your situation. So we're going to check like, okay, what is the performance requirements, what you need, the uptime, etc. And out of this, we'll roll out a price. So for the environment, which we just saw, which we created the architectural visual, you need the following. So in this overview, what can you see here? For this environment, you need 15 OCPU of compute power. You need 2 terabytes of storage, as well for block as archive. And of course, you need your connectivity. Now, the total price for this environment will be monthly 951 euros. But not to forget, this is just the infrastructure. But of course, you also want to make use of your database, etc. But you already purchased your license back in the days, and you pay a yearly support price for this. So on top of this price, you just continue to pay your normal yearly support price, but this is solely the price for your infrastructure. But now you're thinking, okay, I want to have this environment, but who's going to install it for me? That's something that we can do for you. Now everything is turning into a subscription-based model, so we also want to provide our service for them. So if you want to get this environment, we will first we will finalize the design, then we get to the implementation, installation process, etc., etc., etc. And we offer you the flexibility of to spread this cost over 12 months. So with it, you pay like 900 euros per month, spread it out over 1 year. And now you're thinking, what about your environment? We understand that previous price indications are just an example, and we understand that your situation is of course different. But our purpose was just to give you an idea of how this works. How can you get to the pricing? So what can we do for you? We will sit down with you in order to understand your IT environment and your business requirements, and then get to the sizing. We will check how many VMs you have, what kind of physical machines you have, do you have any high availability requirements, what are your performance requirements, and so on. And of course, not to forget, do you have any licenses already in place? Because you can bring them, of course, to the Oracle Public Cloud. Now, once we have this all clear, we can come to an actual sizing for your environment and provide you with an exact figure. So let's go to the next slide, managed services. Now, we are already 15 years in business and focus on JD Edwards, and with managed services on top of JD Edwards. So if you're thinking like, okay, maybe I want to completely unburden my JD Edwards environment, this is where we as just Quistor can jump in. We have a reliable 24/7 support offering, we have an SLA-based governance model, and over here actually in the slides you can see like what you can outsource and what you like to keep in-house. So with this having in mind, what did we learn today? Let's go to the conclusion. Why JD Edwards to Oracle Cloud? So the conclusion, why move JD Edwards to the cloud?
Well, it is very secure. You can eliminate capital, and of course, your current resources who are taking care of your current data center are no longer needed.
Yeah, so there's no more need for upfront investment. All is covered now in a monthly subscription fee. You have your licenses, you can bring them, and it's scalable. You pay for what you use, and that's it.
And regarding users and IT staff, this has no impact on the user, and of course, Quistor is taking care of your environment, so your current staff can focus on more high demanding needs.
So, hope you enjoyed this webinar. If you have any questions, then please ask them now, and we will address them in the Q&A.
Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you for your attention.